Okay, so here's my demo for getting multiple animation stacks separately instead of just writing a single one. So basically, at this point, what happens is once I get going in display animation, at the end, all I'm doing is going to be creating a very specific file type that follows a pattern that I can grab later on. So in terms of not grabbing, an SPU and writing the single animation stack, I don't really have to worry about that collision. So if I just hit play here, this is the humanoid, I think. So once I get here, so we take the sort of name that we grabbed from the file name that we initially read in. So higher name is going to be humanoid, which is the base of that file name. It was like humanoid.fbx. And so I've been following this protocol. I did the same thing in my model converter. This would have been like try type or UV type. And so I'll write this guy to file, and then I'll call vodka, which is also programmatically generated. So vodka higher type to just the blow type, and I'll give the the type of data and just the name humanoid, and that's fine for hierarchy since there's only one of them, and I'll call that. And then what happens is in the animation side, once I get there, same thing. It's just humanoid as the root word, and instead I'll be creating humanoid anim type.bin instead of hierarchy type. And you can see that 0 there because what I'm doing is with each iteration, I'll increment this counter saying that like this is animation 1, this is animation 2, this is animation 3. And so this way I can just like when I'm loading it in the engine, those numbers will be useful for grabbing specific animation. So I'll just write that to a bin file, and then we can see here again, I'm writing it to a blow file, the same thing where it's got a number, and you can see -n humanoid 0. So there's the name. And then if I continue this again, I'll just come back to this. Hopefully this won't take too long. Let me see if I can set some breakpoints while I'm waiting for this. Okay, I already did that. Okay, yeah, and there we go, and this humanoid 1, and then it's going to be humanoid 2, because I think this thing has got 3 of them. Anyway, on the engine side, I guess I should wait for this to finish if I'm going to be reading it in. And then you can see in the resources folder, you can see these temporary files generated, and then at the very end, oh, I see. Yeah, and at the very end, I call in main LIU a single time, and you can see here, I'm looking for I'm creating humanoid SPU, and in humanoid, it's only going to grab the my LIU does not just grab every single .bin and .blow and stuff like that. It will only grab like this thing, something that follows that pattern. So it will only look for humanoid star.blo. And I think usually the output includes that as well in LIU so that I could see it. So if we look at the end here, yeah, I know there's verts after this, but it doesn't actually work that way. So file included in SPU, we've got hierarchy type, and then we've got 3 of these guys. So these are the only ones that are in the SPU. And then on the engine side, I'll load it up. So I guess the key difference that you don't know is the fact that I'm only looking for files that follow the specific pattern using the root word of the file type that was given. So I just format something. I guess I'll continue until I hit the one that I want. Let's see. Yeah, you can see this being called. Okay, so what happens here is when I want to load, load animation. Boom, here is Teddy. I'll continue until I get to humanoid. Here's humanoid, and humanoid.spu is the file I'm looking for. And then I'll go into each. So you can see anim name. So here's my loop here. Anim name is going to be humanoid 0. And like I said before, this could go up to 10. And if I had humanoid 5, it would just return false. We wouldn't use it. But here for 0, we're going to call looking for that. So we're looking for a chunk that's got a chunk header whose data is A. If the type is of type anim type, and if the name matches humanoid 0, then we'll have a match. So here we go. I think, yeah, so that matched, and so now we'll read the data and return it up here. And because I was successful, we'll take that raw data, and then I can just create a new animation stack for 0, which I think is just the run animation and stuff like that. And that's where I just like do all my mashing with pointer arithmetic and packing it into frame buckets. And then, you know, here we go, and here's showing it in motion.